Hey everyone, thanks so much for tuning in as always. So I'm finally getting around to the Jason Guthrie Ranger video. This was one of my scores from the USN show that was over Labor Day weekend in Vegas. This was an unexpected score, and I'll tell you a little bit about it in just a moment. But we're going to go through some of the paperwork that it comes with. We'll cover the specs to a point, I suppose, but this is a custom build. This is one-off, so obviously this will be a little bit different than the standard production knife videos. So anyways, acquired this knife almost 2 months ago. Again, this is Jason Guthrie. He's a maker out of South Africa, and I've actually done a video on the Ranger before. I had one that was on loan from a friend on Instagram and someone who watches my videos. So that one's a bit more in-depth. This one we'll just kind of take a look at it. So yeah. All right. So this is a titanium frame lock, and it has been coated in Cerakote, which is a gun coating. And Jason, he's a firearms instructor / owns a range / works with guns on guns, so of course Cerakote is a natural and really good finish for a knife and for firearms. So anyways, Cerakote finish, titanium clip on standoffs, does have a marbled carbon fiber show scale, does use a thumb stud, it is on nylon washers, and of course it has some bacon Damascus, and the kind of cool little detail is the red liner here on the show side. So just kind of a cool pop of color, really nice detail. This knife has definitely gotten a lot of love on the video I posted for upcoming content not too long ago, plus anytime I post pictures of it on Instagram. So yeah. All right, let's just go through some of the stuff that comes with the knife here. So we'll move it out of the way for a moment. But Jason has developed what he calls the GTI, which is the Guthrie tungsten insert. I believe he does number all of them, so this is number 204. Little details here on keep it oiled for smooth operation. Certificate of authenticity and in the appropriate fashion. It's got a couple bullet holes here. I don't know what it was shot with, 22 something. Anyways, so marbled carbon fiber Ranger number 204, and build date was August. So right before, man, that's pretty much a week before the USN show. All right, the GTI lock. So what is it? This picture I think is shows exactly what it is. So instead of using a bolt-on frame lock, what he does is he drills and inserts a tungsten rod, and tungsten on the hardness scale comes in at 90, so significantly harder than even the stainless steel. Well, hardened stainless steel is between 58 and 62, so the tungsten is much harder than that. And he goes through in detail here kind of the benefits of the tungsten lock, but essentially as it wears in over time, it should essentially become even more secure, and essentially you won't have any wear on the tungsten rod. It'll actually probably happen on the hardened stainless steel. So anyways, there's some detail in here. You can always go to his website if you're looking for more info on it, but definitely an innovative lock insert system, and it works really well on this one and then the one that I had in for review prior, so no issues. He does include heat treat information on the various steels that he works with. Been certified by Bowler. And then a little bit of information about him. So again, a lot of paperwork here, but this one's not done in M390, but it is a flat grind. This one is obviously a Warncliffe style here. So ceramic detent, hardened stop pin, two-piece construction. He uses 6AL4B titanium pocket clip with screws through design. So there's that. And then the specs are on the second page. So I always go through the specs, or I generally go through the specs, so might as well go through it right here. let you guys take a look at that. And I forgot to weigh this one. Hell, might as well do it. This one will be a bit different because he does do some in, there's his website. He does do some in full titanium. He does do some with carbon fiber. He has a smaller version of this called the Scout. He has a larger version of this. Don't know what the hell that's called, but he just opened up his books for like the monster behemoth version not too long ago. So this one weighs in at 4.25 ounces. So 4.25 ounces for essentially a 4-inch blade. Pretty legit. So, yeah. Alright, let me move all of this stuff out of the way here. It's going to go back in its baggie in a moment. And as far as the size comparison there, hopefully, again, going back with the Kershaw CQC7K, hopefully that gives you guys a kind of a good idea there of the size. There we are, butt to butt. So yeah, so how did I acquire this one? Let me tell you a little bit about it. So when I had the prior Ranger on loan from Nate, I really like the knife. I really like the design. You know, if you're looking at the design here and it doesn't speak to you, this is a knife that really makes sense once you have it in the hand. So, you know, very user performance driven type of ergonomics on it. I think much like maybe Gavco's work, like it doesn't make sense, then you get it in the hand and it's like, wow, you know, I really understand the design language and the appeal at this point. The Ranger and Jason's work in general really does fall to the, you know, function over form type of philosophy, but I still think it's a very attractive knife. So, you know, long, slender handle, you know, contoured. It does use washers instead of bearings. You know, obviously keep junk from getting in there. Uses a thumb stud instead of a flipper. Here's a look at some of the details. Everything just really works well on it. You know, the lock bar is innovative and very functional. You know, it's very, very solid. Centering is perfect, of course. So, yeah. So very user-orientated type of build. So anyways, I had the one on loan. I actually Skyped Jason. I wanted to talk to him about the design way back when I did that video. Super nice guy. I just really, really liked him as a person. And among custom knife makers, there's a lot of custom knife makers. But within that group, you know, you funnel down to people who actually make good knives versus crappy custom knives. Because again, there are crappy custom knives. There's no question. So you have makers, you have good makers, then you kind of narrow that down to, you know, designs I like, people that I like, and Jason was kind of in that group. So I knew I wanted something from him eventually. He was on my list of makers that I really wanted to acquire something from, just waiting for the right piece. So I'm at the USN show. You know, I hit the Microtech booth real quick to pick up the show special. And then I'm kind of wandering around, and I see Jason over there, and I'd talked to him at Blade Show, of course. So he's standing over there with his lovely wife. Went over, started talking to him, and you know, a couple guys had already pretty much cleaned out his table, but there was this really nice one left right here on the table. So I'm talking to him, sitting there, you know, just kind of playing with this thing, looking at it. Wasn't expected. But I had the cash, and so I'm just talking to him, and I'm playing with this knife and trying to figure out if I want to buy it or not, you know, because he'd been on my list. I was sitting there kind of mulling it over, and another guy walks up, and he's like, that's the knife I came to the show for. And I'm like, all right, man, I haven't decided to purchase it yet. You know, it's yours. If you really did come to the show, like, I will absolutely let you have it. And so he's looking at it, and he's like, oh, no, I don't think I'm going to. And so I was like, well, in my head, I was like, well, why the hell did you tell me you came to the show for it if you don't want it? Like, that makes no sense. Anyways, let's go off the tangent. So, yeah, I'm talking to them, and you know what? I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take it, right? So I take it, and, you know, my most expensive piece from the show is this one. I know he does ones that are called, like, Elite, or I think he calls some of them Elite. I don't know if this one qualifies, but, you know, in terms of the materials and so forth, it might. anyways, that's how I acquired this one. Just kind of the last really nice piece left at his table. This was only maybe 5 minutes into the show, and he was pretty much cleaned out on the first come first serve basis. So yeah, really cool. One thing that I really am impressed with on this knife is the jimping. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's pretty thin, good row, well spaced, but it is so grippy. It's almost sticky. Like it's not sharp, but it just really grabs the skin of your thumb, locks it in really well, and again, it kind of goes into that very specific user approach in terms of design and so forth. But yeah, needed to share this one with you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed taking a look at it. His fit and finish is excellent. He's a really nice guy. His books are closed and have been closed for a while. So, I mean, if you're looking for someone who is like a good maker and a good person, I mean, absolutely check him out. There's a lot of exceptional talent in South Africa, and all the guys are really nice too. So I have at least 3 different pieces from like Johan Ellis, Jason Guthrie, Clyde Challenor. Just a good group of guys down there. So yeah, I'll give you one. Let's do an up close look at Bacon Damascus here, which is Chad Nichols. Marbled carbon fiber. Not quite sure who made the carbon fiber here, but no voids, really nice. Cerakote finish. Really nice pocket clip on the standoffs here. Functions very well. Floating backspacer of titanium. Red, I think it's G10. Little accent piece. So, yeah. Really smooth on the, I believe, nylon washers here. But, yeah, exceptional piece. So, anyways, guys, hopefully that answered any questions, or at least gave you the look at this piece that you wanted to see. So, comments or questions, let me know. You can always reach out to Jason on Instagram or via his website. Again, super nice guy. And yeah, give me a thumbs up. See you guys on the next video. I still have more videos to do from my USN acquisition, so take care.